presentation. Yeah, sorry. I know I always throw you into this stuff. I'm sorry. It's just like
see the Zoom like anywhere or no?
Yeah, you'll be able to pull the Zoom up on here. It's just so you'll be able to monitor the Zoom on here as well. Yeah. Or you can just pull it up on your computer, but I'll need you to click through the slides here.
Okay.
It is?
It's working?
Yeah. Okay. What if I move it over here? Yeah, hold on. Okay, it's working right now. Okay. Okay, we just won't touch anything. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, just in case. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Am I unmuted now? They can hear me? Okay. You guys can hear me? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Okay. 2 mementos and we will start. How is everyone? What's everyone doing? Good, I'm good. I'm so happy that there's actually people in the classroom because I would have hated just having to talk to this and there not been anyone in here. It would have been really awkward. Just a few more minutes, everyone on Zoom, and we'll get started. You guys got on for the rest of the day? Anything?
We are showing right after this.
Do you? Yeah. Whereabouts?
That new Street.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's awesome. Still working? Okay. Thank God. Oh, good. Smart. I need to record this too. Yeah, but not on the.
Oh, it should be. It just showed me recording.
Are you logged into the?
No, not the coaching one.
No, the Are you logged? Okay.
Yeah, I'm logged in.
Okay, so you're just gonna record it from yours?
No, it's not recording. Just when I joined.
Oh, I see. Oh, she already clicked recording. Okay. I see what you're saying. Sorry, I got confused there. I thought you just clicked it on your thing.
No.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna shut this. I don't think anyone else is coming in person. Okay, we will get started since it is 2 o'clock and I want to respect everyone's time. I'm sure a few more people will probably jump on Zoom. Hi, everyone. I feel so weird talking to this screen and you guys and everyone at the same time, but okay, so we will get started. So I do have Mike Russo manning the Zoom. So if you guys have any questions, just pop them in the chat because I can't hear you on Zoom. So pop them in the chat and then Mike will let me know and I can answer any questions that you guys have. I also will open up to questions at the very end, but if you have any questions throughout, just let me know and I'm happy to answer. And yeah, we will get started. So hello, all my beautiful faces, all my women and Mike in here. So yeah, so we're gonna get started on the social media strategy. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Sorry if that's loud, my bad. But okay, so what we're gonna start off with is what each platform is used for. So understanding what each platform is used for and your target audience on it and all that kind of stuff. It's really important to understand this. This is a very generalized statement, but in my experience, what I have realized is, so the 3 platforms that I use consistently are Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, okay? LinkedIn is another really, really good platform that a lot of people use. I don't use LinkedIn. I can't speak on it. So the 3 I'm going to focus on today are these 3. So Facebook is your sellers. Okay. So sellers, Facebook tends to be the older generation, right? Not to say that it's all old people or that we are not on it. I mean, I'm on Facebook, I'm young, whatever, but Facebook tends to be your sellers. So like I said, it's older people, they have houses to sell, they have, property. You want to target Facebook with with like for sellers. So like everything you're putting out, you want to be purposeful about it. So you want to understand that if you're going to have seller tips or anything like that, Facebook is the place to do it. Again, not to say that you can't repurpose content and use it on each platform, but your target market on Facebook is going to be sellers. Instagram is your buyers, specifically your first-time home buyers. Again, general, but for the most part, you're going to get a lot of the first-time home buyers on Instagram. It's the younger demographic. So again, when you're putting out content, you want to be mindful of that. You want to be mindful of who you're speaking to, and Instagram is going to be your first-time home buyers a lot. So content like pre-approvals and stuff like that tend to do really, really well on Instagram. Obviously, we're always going to direct people to speak to experts and stuff like that. We're not mortgage brokers. Most of us aren't. But some of the most common questions we get asked from buyers, especially first-time home buyers, as we all know, is how much do I need to get pre-approved? What do I need down? What do I need? Oh, it's okay. All those kind of questions, right? You get asked those ones the most. So putting content like that out on Instagram, that's going to speak to your first-time home buyers. This is the domain you want to do it in. And then TikTok is all opportunity. Okay. So TikTok is buyers, sellers, it's investors, it's younger people, it's older people. It's like everybody is on TikTok. A lot of people seem to think that TikTok is just for the younger generation. A lot of people, especially if you are someone who maybe is a little bit older, you might view TikTok as just like the dancing app that young kids are on. That could not be further from the truth. Everybody is on TikTok, everybody. And there is a huge market to reach, like I said, everybody on TikTok. Investors is a big one, especially because TikTok now, people go to TikTok for information, right? Would you guys all agree? Like, when you go on TikTok every day, you learn something new every single day. So people go to TikTok for information. There is a huge network and just opportunity. If you can provide something of value, if you can provide information, people will follow you on TikTok. People love information on like finances, like investing, all that kind of stuff, the type of stuff that we did not get taught in school. Taxes, how to invest in real estate, investing in the stock market, like all that kind of stuff. There is such a huge niche for that on TikTok. Again, everywhere as well, but TikTok specifically equals all opportunity. So definitely utilize TikTok. You're not too old to be on TikTok. If you're thinking that, you are not too old to be on TikTok. So what do people want to see? People just want to see content. You don't need to overthink content. So for example, people get really, really wrapped up in what they're posting and how often they post and what they're going to put out and all that kind of stuff. You are better if you put anything out. You are already better than the person who's not putting anything out on their social pages, right? So you are always going to be better than the person that's not doing anything. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be super great quality, great camera quality, great everything. It would be great if it was, but you just got to start somewhere, and having some type of content is better than having no content at all. So just start posting. Like if you are someone who is, you have a Facebook page or an Instagram page that you created one for your business, but you don't really post a lot on it, or you're very not on it consistently, posting. Just having a presence. You don't even need to post about your business. You don't need to post about anything in particular, but you need to be active on it. You need to be posting, or else nobody's going to remember. People forget really, really easily. I tell a story all the time about when I first started in real estate. I got in around the same time that a few other people in my same local neighborhood did that are kind of similar ages to me. So we all knew kind of like mutual people, had a lot of the same connections. And I remember they were getting so much business, and people that, again, we would both have a mutual connection, and it happened quite a few times, and I would think why them and not me? I'm a realtor too. Why is it that they're going to them instead of me? Even certain people who I felt like I would probably even have a better connection with than them, they were going to them. The difference is that they were on social media so consistently, constantly putting it out there, that they were to the point where I actually kind of thought they were a little bit annoying, but that was exactly what it was that they never let people forget that they were in real estate. They never let anybody forget that that's what they did. And I was doing it where I used to have a different mindset with social media. If you guys, a lot of us kind of grew up around the same time. you kind of think that there needs to be this like etiquette with social media. You can't post an X amount of times. You don't want to be annoying. You don't want to post more than once a day, you know, this, that, the other. And I used to like really follow that etiquette. Like I didn't want to be like a loser on social media. And that was the exact thing that like stopped me from getting business through social media. Was I tried to follow too much of an etiquette. I didn't want to post too much. I didn't want to, you know, and I made a business account. And I didn't want to mix business and my personal and all that kind of stuff. And all that ended up doing was stopping me from getting business because I was not putting it out there enough. People are really, really quick to forget. And what would happen is I would go to like a gathering or something like that, where I would see people that I hadn't, you know, seen in a while. And they would be like, oh my God, like, I wish I had remembered you were a realtor. Like my sister just bought, or, you know, we just bought a house. Like, you know what? I totally forgot you were a realtor. Cause like, I just wasn't putting it out there enough. Even though I had announced on social media that I was a realtor, even though I like posted stuff, it's just, it wasn't enough. Like people were quick to forget, especially when there was 3 other people that they knew that were posting constantly that they're in real estate. So to sum that whole story up, content equals good content. Just be posting, post. So picture or video. So the algorithm likes video. So this is a huge thing now. Social media has definitely trended a lot more towards video. Now, in particular, that we have the TikTok app, because it is specifically a short form video app. You cannot add photos on it. It's just video. And obviously TikTok has taken the world by storm. It's probably the most popular platform that there is. Everyone is pushing video more now. So Instagram, same thing. They came out with Reels. It's very, very similar to TikTok. It's short form video, and people love it. Even on Facebook, on any platform that you go on, video performs 80% better than a photo does. Okay, so video is the way to go. The reason why video is so important as well is it's actually, I think this is, nope, wrong slide. It's the best way to attract your ideal client. I'm going to get into this in a little bit, but video is a great way to really have your personality actually shine through, right? Like when you post photos and whatever, and you write up a good caption, like there's nothing wrong with that, but people can't actually get to know you that way, right? Like when we post a video and people can see how we speak, our personalities, you know, the way we say things, it actually gives people a really good insight into just who we are as a person, and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So video will always perform better than picture. So same thing, no matter what it is that you're posting, if people are scrolling through and a video as opposed to a video, a picture comes up, even if it's a paid ad, whatever it is, people will always get captured by a video rather than a photo. So you want to be using video. A couple tips I can offer you on video, because I went through it in the beginning where it's uncomfortable, right? Like the weirdest thing is to take a video of yourself and post it out online for everybody to see. And I struggled with it because I would, you know, look back at myself and I would like analyze the video to no end. I would either hate what I said, how I said it, the way I looked, the pimple on my face, like whatever it was, I would analyze it so much to the point where then like I just wouldn't post it. And so obviously that's another issue that people suffer with too, right? Is that they're never happy with that picture that they took or that video, so that they just end up posting nothing at all. That's a huge issue. So a few things that I did to with video was I actually started originally posting on my stories first. Okay, this is something I highly recommend that people do. Start on your Instagram stories. Your stories are only there for 24 hours and then they disappear. So even if you like hate this video of yourself or whatever it is, it's not going to be there for that long. It's not permanent on your page. You don't need to look at it every time you go there and see it. It's there for 24 hours and then it goes away. So if you know, kind of look like an idiot in it, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. What I would even do too in the beginning is I would toss on a filter, like no shame. I would throw a filter on. I would not recommend putting a, you know, like a dog face or like cat ears or something on, but if you need to throw like a filter on to like clear your skin or whatever it is to just make you comfortable enough to post that video, do it. Like it's no big deal. So I would do that. I would toss on a filter and I started on my stories. And I would get out what I needed to say just so, and I would post it and I wouldn't look at it again. And so I got to the mindset where I was like, I don't care what I look like. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm getting the message across that I'm trying to get across, then like, that's all I care about. So I would watch it back once to make sure that everything I said, like, you know, makes sense and the message comes across correctly. But other than that, I would post it and I wouldn't look back. Because if I kept, I would analyze it, and then I wouldn't end up posting it, right? And I think a lot of us would be guilty of that. So yeah, so that's what I would do. And how my confidence grew from that is so many people would start reaching out to me and responding to my stories and asking me questions or being like, oh my God, this is such helpful information. Like, thank you for sharing this. And I started getting to make so many connections through people reaching out and asking questions. I believe one of the first things that I started posting was tips for buyers. It was, I think we had new mortgage rules coming out, or there was some type of stress test or something was coming out that was changing. It was a massive update for buyers, especially for first-time home buyers. And that was the first video that I did. I thought, you know, people need to know this information. So I put it out in a video. It was a lot easier than like typing it out. It was quick for me to just come on and be like, this is what just happened. This is what this means. You know, reach out to me if you have any questions. And sure enough, so many people reached out to me for questions. So after you get that positive feedback and you realize like, hey, people are actually find this like information useful, it gets a lot easier to keep posting from there. So then I started doing that more consistently, posting stories and all that. And then I moved to actually doing videos on Facebook. So I started posting legit like videos about 2 to 3 minutes long on Facebook, just providing information. So I would do, you know, seller tips, home buyer tips, like all that kind of stuff. And I would post those types of videos. Okay. So that's kind of how I started and how I got comfortable with video, because I know it's not that easy. So what do people want to see? What do you post about? This is one of the hardest things that people struggle with. They're like, how do I think of content? Like, how do you think of content on a daily basis? It's a full-time job in itself. Like, social media is literally a full-time job in itself. And if you guys, everyone is well aware that social media, like nowadays, brands, companies hire people to do their social media because it is a full-time job. So it's time consuming and it's hard to think of things, but how you do it is, first of all, people want to see real, raw, and organic. So they really, truly want to see the good, the bad, the ugly. They want to see everything. You know, so posting things like, you know, you, that's the biggest thing, your life, you put your face in photos, like remember to take photos of yourself. Okay. Your children, your pets, your hobbies, the bad days, the good days, vacations, and behind the scenes of real estate. So this is just to sum it up of kind of things that I post about that do really, really well. So what I mean by this is that people are extremely interested in like the real estate industry. People want to know what a day in the life looks like in real estate. Like, what do we actually do? Right. So even when we have if we have a listing going live and we're doing photo day, video day, staging, all that kind of stuff, people love seeing that stuff. People love seeing what goes on behind the scenes, what we actually do. The one thing I can tell you that people don't love to see, and the biggest mistakes that realtors make, and I'm sorry if this calls any of you guys out, but if you're doing it, it's time to switch it up. Just listed and just sold. If your page is filled with just listed and just sold, you're doing it wrong. It's your social media is not going to do anything for you. The thing is that just sold, nobody cares about. Nobody cares. Like, I can't stress that enough. Nobody cares. For us to post just sold, it's essentially a way for us to kind of, you know, pat ourselves on the back, really brag to other realtors and, you know, whatever. It is also a way for us to show that we're busy, we're in production, and that's great. The thing is, though, is the property's sold. Nobody can buy it anymore. The people on your Facebook, your Instagram that are seeing it, they can't go look at it. They can't go buy it. Like, it's sold. It doesn't mean anything. Okay. Just listeds are a little bit different. Of course, you want to put it out there to your audience. You might get a buyer from it. They might see it. You're creating more exposure for your clients. That is all fine. But if your page is just listed, just sold, just listed, just sold, it's not going to do anything for you. So the way that I do that, because I run my team's page, the Bull Bay Alcorn page, you want to still show that you have a portfolio. You still want to show you're busy, you're selling properties, all that kind of stuff for any potential person who comes to your social pages to look at what you're doing. Use a highlight, right? On Instagram, we have something called a highlight at the top of our pages. Okay. This is something, if for any of you guys who don't know, when you go to an Instagram page, at the top of their page, they can create highlights that just stay there. And what it is, it's anything that they've posted as a story. They can choose to save it to their highlight reel, which means it'll always stay there. It won't go away within 24 hours. So what I do personally is I post all of our solds to a highlight reel. So I post it in our story. It's there for 24 hours, but then I save it to a highlight reel. So when anybody comes to the Volpe Alcorn page, they can take a look at our sold highlight reel and they can see all the properties that we're selling. So they can see we're doing business, they can see we're doing volume, but that's not what our page is about. That's not what it's about. What I make our pages about is about us. I make it about our team. I make it about the events that we do. I make it about the community give back stuff that we do. I make it about, you know, proud moments within the team, like things like that people really want to see, the behind the scenes, the fun stuff we do together, stuff that's going to get them to actually get to know our team a little bit and give them a little bit of an insight into what we're all about and actually want to work with us. Right. Is there any questions so far? Is there some in the chat? Yeah.
You want to tackle now or you want to?
Is there any relevant to like just what I've been talking about that I should? Yeah.
One that's relevant.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a couple. So, Gabriel's asking, when you say video is better than photos, does that include lead generation ads or more based off of content creation?
I would say both. I would say both. Video just is better than photo. Again, if you're going to do a lead generation ad and you're going to use a photo, I'm not saying it's like bad. It's not going to do the job. It still will. It's just video will always perform better. It captures people's attention. It's a lot easier for people, especially when it comes to a sponsored ad. If it's a photo and it's real estate, whatever, like a lot of them will just scroll right by it. When it's a video, as soon as they hear your voice, if you can capture them in the first like 2 to 3 seconds, they may actually pay attention to it more. So video is always going to be superior to photo.
Yeah. Okay. Just say the question that way. In case anybody's
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes. In case you guys didn't hear that, the question was, is photo better than video just when it comes to content creation or also lead generation ads?
And then the next question, on each platform, how much is too much?
Good question. So the question was, on each platform, how much is too much? So my rule of thumb is 1 post a day. 1 post a day. I think 1 post a day is fine. I think stories really like go nuts. It's easy for people. If you have like 1 million stories, if people don't want to scroll through them, they don't have to. If you start losing people though, like throughout your stories, you see they start falling off and they're not watching all of them, you're losing their interest, right? So you want to have a healthy combination of posting every single day, but you don't need to be spamming them like with multiple posts every single day, right? So as long as you show up on social media every day and you have a presence every single day and you post something every day, I think that's more than enough. Yeah.
Next one you kind of answered already, but Stevie, not sure if you will get to it. How do you determine what's going into stories and what's going into your feed on Insta/Facebook? You kind of did touch on that.
Yeah. So yeah, how do I determine what is going on my feed and what's going into my stories slash I guess highlight reels on Instagram and Facebook? So basically the way that I go about it is anything that has an actual story behind it, anything that is kind of like impactful or it's just something that you want to share with people, I will make an actual post out of if it deserves a post. So again, something that has a story behind it. If I'm just showing like the day-to-day, like life, like what I'm up to, like basically what I do on my story is I'll bring people along with me throughout my day. That's what my story is for. Bringing people along with me throughout my day. What goes on my day-to-day, what's going on behind the scenes, like all that kind of stuff. Posts I save for an actual impactful thing. And again, something that there's usually like a story behind it. And I will dive into that a little bit more, but that's how I would sum it up is like my stories are just meant for like coming along in my day and my post is meant for something more impactful.
Yeah, last one. There seems to be a difference in style of videos between reels and stories. Reels seem to be more like performing fits. Is that a rule? Do you find personal material like recording general speech in camera rather than helping on trendy videos perform better on reels, or does it perform better on reels? Right?
Yeah. So again, the question was, I guess they can all see this on Zoom though, right?
Yeah,
So, okay.
yeah.
Okay. So that was a long one, so I'm not going to repeat it, but okay. So basically, yeah. So absolutely. Stories for sure are a different type of video than posting on like your reels or your TikTok or anything like that. I think a combination of just speaking to the camera mixed with trends, all that, I think it's all good. I think you can't go wrong with any of it. Again, content is good content. So there's no rule. There's no, this is good, this is bad, whatever, just put out content. What I will say is that when it comes to video though, the whole point, especially reels and TikTok, because it's a short video platform, right? The whole idea of it is to try to capture people's attention as quick as possible. Okay, so you want to try to capture their attention in the first few seconds so they actually want to watch the video. So I would say above all else, whether it is just you're talking to the camera or it's a more fast moving type of video or it's a trend or whatever it is, your focus should be capturing people's attention right off the hop. And that's all you need to worry about. Personally, for me, when it comes to trends and stuff like that, I actually tend to do them as more of a filler. Like when I've run out of a good content idea, but I know I need to get content out, that's usually when I'll do like a trend. And don't get me wrong, they're fun. Like I want to do them too. Like some of them are quirky and fun and it's, you know, you can have fun with it. But I usually do them when I've run out of a good content idea and I just want to get something up. So I use it as a filler. So I would say your best thing that you can do is just put out something of value, right? Like if even doing trends and stuff, that's all great. And it's good, it's funny, have a good time with it. But you're not necessarily putting out anything of value, right? Like it's a trade. You might not necessarily actually be helping people. So you want to have a good combination of the two of them. Stories though, I wouldn't be putting out that kind of thing on a story. A story I think is definitely more of a quick like update of your day, a picture, like that kind of thing. You don't want to post anything too long or too like engaging on your story, in my opinion. Or engaging might not have been the right word, but yeah, but okay. So going back to this again, one thing I can say, so again, just listed, just sold, that is a no-no. Nobody cares about that, right? Like you don't, if that is all that is on your page, it's not going to get you business, okay? So you wanna make sure your page is filled with you. So one of the best things about social media is that what it is actually a way for us to put ourselves out there, our lives, who we are, as a way for people to actually get to know us and wanna work with us before we've even met them. So if all your pages is just a bunch of houses, nobody is going to know who you even are, right? Like, especially if someone's even known your name and they go to your social media page and there's not even a photo of you, how will they ever even get an idea of who you are and what you're all about? They're never going to know that. So putting yourself out there as much as possible is extremely important. Okay. And so going into this, so how do I post? How do I create content? They're like, you know, what do I post? So when I first started on social media, like really getting into it, when I started getting purposeful about it and I made it my full-time like lead generation, I followed a social media schedule. Okay. So I followed a social media schedule, and how I started was I posted a minimum of 3 times a week. Okay. 3 times a week. My schedule was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So every other day, just to keep it simple, but you can do whatever works for you. Now, when I say post, I mean a literal post, like one on your actual feed. But I would post on social every day. So on the days that I didn't put out an actual post, I would make sure I would be posting stories so that every single day there was something coming out from me on social media. The content that I followed was value, business, and personal. So Monday, I would post something of value. Okay. So something of value would be like a home buyer tip, seller tip, you know, how to compete in multiple offers, market update, like anything like that. Now, how I thought of these, because people often ask this, the way I first started posting content was I took a look at what questions as realtors do we get asked consistently over and over and over again, right? Think about it. When you walk into a listing appointment, we tend to get asked the same few questions on repeat. When you work with buyers, especially first-time home buyers, they ask the same questions over and over and over again. So you know there is a market for that knowledge, right? Like people want to know these things. So I would basically, the way I would answer those questions, I would just put it in a video and I would put it out there. Okay. Business would be anything to do with your business. This could be like a closing. It could be, you know, again, like something your business is offering, whatever it is, something to do with business. This is your time to post, you know, just listed. If you are going to post a just sold, that would fall under this category. I recommend if you are going to post a just sold, post a photo with your actual clients, right? Like people love that where you post a photo of them holding the sold sign or you get a photo with them. And the way I would go about it is instead of just talking about how it's sold, post a little write-up of your experience working with them. Right? Post about like what that experience was like, you know, especially right now, a lot of buyers have a lot of failed offers and all that kind of stuff before they actually secure a property. So post a little bit of a story with it, not just a picture of a house with saying sold, because that doesn't mean anything to anybody. So there are other ways to post just solds that are a lot more meaningful and impactful on people. And then the third is personal. So personal is self-explanatory, something about you. It could be literally just a photo of you. It could be something about your life. This could be about your pets, your, whatever it is, your date night, your spouses, your kids, like anything like that. It's something personal about you. Let people into your lives a little bit. Obviously, it's up to you how much of your personal life you actually want to share, what you want to put out there. But the personal is actually probably the most important. The value and the personal are the most important over business, because this is how people really get to know you and then get value from you. Is there any more questions in the chat right now? Good. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so that's the best piece of advice I can give you. If you are someone who is just getting on social media and you're struggling with like, how much should I post? What do I post? How do I think of content? What do I do? Follow a social media schedule. Go out to the dollar store or to Staples or wherever and actually purchase one of those. You can get them at the dollar store. Those calendars that sit on your desk, those big ones, right? That you can like write in or put sticky notes in, and literally write out a schedule. Monday, value, this is what I'm posting this day. Business, this, and then personal, this. Think of ideas ahead of time. Think of ideas, write down a list of things you would like to post over the next few weeks, and then go and get photos for them, or whatever it is. I would often think about that too, because another thing that happens is a lot of people forget to take photos, right? I say it to my team all the time. The guys are the worst. I'll always be like, remember to go get a photo of when you're dropping that sold sign off or whatever. They never remember to get photos. So sometimes it can be difficult. So the way I would do it, because I would forget to get photos of certain things too sometimes, the way I would do it is I would think in my head of a post that I wanted to make. I would think of a message that I wanted to get across, and then I would go get the photo for that. So I would actually think of the post first and then the photo to follow, where most people get a photo that they want to post and then they have to think of a caption. I do it the opposite. I find that really, really helpful. Any questions in the room on anything I've said so far? Good, good, okay, cool. So why is social media so important? Why is it so great? Like, why is it so useful in business? And why is putting so much personal stuff out there important? Social media is one of the best ways to actually attract your ideal client, okay? How many of you guys have had an experience in real estate where maybe you got a lead from door knocking, cold calling, maybe it was just like an online, like realtor.ca lead or something like that, and you go over to do a listing appointment or maybe a buyer consultation or whatever it is, and you only get maybe an hour with them, half an hour to an hour, whatever it ends up being. You don't necessarily get to know that much about a person at that time, especially if you're talking about their house and what you're going to do to market their house and all that kind of stuff. So you can end up thinking that this is great, I just got this listing, walk out feeling on top of the world, you just got new clients. And how many people have had an experience where it ended up turning out to be like nightmare clients, like not a good fit for you at all? Justine, I know you have just experienced this recently. It's not fun. It's not fun for anybody. It's extremely draining. It's like really hard. It'll make you want to quit the business. So, and the thing is we don't know. We don't know. I've had it happen to me a couple times. I actually had, I'll never forget, one year I had like just a string of like clients back to back that just were not like a good fit. We were just not a good match. And it was a type of situation where you can go, we all know there are some people out there where it doesn't matter how above and beyond you go for them. There's always something you could have done better. Like it's just nothing's good enough for them. And I went through that and it was really, really difficult. And again, you just don't know that in the beginning. You don't know. Things can go drastically different throughout your time spent together. And so the great thing about social media is that when I started getting clients from social media, I look back on the deals that I've done from social media, and every single one of them were like my best experience with selling real estate. A lot of the clients that I got through social media, if they weren't my friend already, I have actually become friends with them. I have created a real friendship with those clients. And the reason is because by putting myself out there, my personal life, creating videos where people can actually see like kind of about me, how I talk, how I communicate, all that kind of stuff, they see so much of you that they already have made the decision in their mind that they like you and that they want to work with you. So when they're ready to buy their first house or they're finally ready to sell, they already have made the decision that you are the person they are going to. So the really great thing about it is it also saves a lot of that like working period. Like, again, think about it when we maybe get a door knocking lead and we follow up with them forever and all that kind of stuff, which is great. You still have to do that. But then you go in and a lot of the time you're still competing for the listing. Like, again, in a market like right now too, how many times do we go in and we're competing for a listing? Like, we're not guaranteed that deal. And then they end up going with someone else and it sucks. And now we don't get that business. With social media, they come to you. You have been posting long enough. Like I said, they've made that decision in their mind that they want to work with you. So by the time they come to you, they're just like, hey, Steevie, like, we're ready to sell. Excuse me, can you come list my house? I'm like, sure, like, great, that's awesome. So I don't even have to go in and fight for that listing anymore. Like, they've already chosen me. So that is what is so awesome about social media. Again, they already have a good sense of who you are. They already know you guys are going to be a good fit. They already want to work with you. So it eliminates a lot of that possibility of ending up with nightmare clients. And that's not a good experience for anyone. So that is one of the best things about social media. That is one of the reasons why I can't recommend it enough as at least one source of your lead gen. Is there a question, Mike?
Yes, there's two.
Okay.
Actually, three now.
Okay.
When we are posting, are we implementing strategies to gain followers or turn a follower into a lead from our content?
Yeah. So someone, okay, I guess they can all see the chat. I don't need to repeat the question. So both, because the more followers that you gain, the more potential leads you can have. However, having a big number of following and gaining followers is not the most important thing. It is being able to actually convert that audience into business. And I will dive into that in just a little bit, but the answer to that is both. However, the conversion is the more important thing rather than gaining the followers.
Okay. The next one was any tips on increasing your followers?
Yeah. So any tips on increasing your followers? So absolutely. So consistency. Posting consistent content is one of the biggest things. If you post consistently every single day, I promise you, you will gain followers. It may happen slowly and organically, which is kind of what you want. And it may feel like it's, taking forever, but I promise you, you will gain followers naturally. The other thing you can do is hashtags are a big one. Use good hashtags. Every post you post, hashtag, because that helps push your photos and videos out to other audiences and kind of try and helps connect you with the audience that you're trying to actually hit. So utilize hashtags, utilize trending sounds. This is more specific for TikTok and Instagram, obviously, but trending sounds are always a good one too. What I will do is if I'm posting a TikTok video and it's one where I'm actually just talking to the camera and I'm just like giving information, I'll put a trending sound on it and I'll just turn the volume right down. So the sound is not over me. The sound's not actually playing, but the sound is attached to my video, which means it's a trending sound. It's going to get pushed out to more people. So whether or not you're actually using the song as part of the video, still add it and turn the volume right down. That'll help get more attraction to it. And then also hopping on trends. So trends are a good way to gain followers. Again, the value is really what's going to attract and keep followers. But if you do a trend and you keep up with trends and stuff like that, it is a good way to help gain followers. Because again, when it's trending, it tends to pop up on more people's pages. They're going to see it and then they might follow you. So yeah, those are all ways you can gain followers. Oh, also another massive way to gain followers. This is something you're going to utilize mainly Instagram and Facebook for, is giveaways. Giveaways are huge. Okay. Giveaways are a great way to gain a following. Highly recommend doing giveaways for holidays or like every season or whatever it is. But I really recommend doing giveaways that are actually like substantial. It's good. Everyone will value if you do like a giveaway for like a $25 gift card or whatever. But when you do something substantial, so for example, a couple of the giveaways we've done in the past is we've given away a night away in Blue Mountain. We've given away a night away in Blue Mountain with a day pass to the Scandinavian spa. So like a really like a good a giveaway that a lot of people would want to win. We've given away a Yeti cooler, right? Yeti, like those are another good ones that everybody wants them, but they might not want to purchase them themselves. They're expensive. But like people want them. So things like that are really good. Doing a giveaway where everybody has to like the thing, follow the page, all that kind of stuff, you will gain a ton of followers from that. And it's very, very rare that people go back and unfollow you after the contest. Some might, but if you're still posting things of value, people are going to stay. They're going to stay around. So giveaways are a really, really good one. The other great thing about doing a giveaway that's substantial like that is it's also a great way for you to do follow-up calls. Okay. Especially with those people where, we all have those people in our database where we feel like we're calling them every 3 months and like nothing's changing. You kind of feel like you're just bothering them. And every time you call them, they're going to be like, no, nothing's changed. I'm staying put. I'm not selling. Calling them to just be like, hey, I'm just calling you to let you know our team's doing this fantastic giveaway. All you have to do is head over to our Facebook page. You have the opportunity to win a night away in Blue Mountain. Like, just wanted to let you know, tell your friends. That's incredible. You're calling them literally just to let them know about a giveaway. It's something of value. You're not even asking them about real estate, anything like that. And it's something that's substantial enough that call your database, let them know, right? So doing a good giveaway is another excuse to call your database. So growing your following and calling your database is a really, really good reason to do a giveaway.
Sorry,
yep.
Does the number of followers matter?
Does the number of followers matter? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Obviously, the less followers you have, just like in general, the less audience you have, because keeping in mind that everything in real estate we know is a numbers game. So it's kind of similar to when we're trying to fill our funnel, right? We're always trying to fill our funnel big up here because we know it's going to filter down to a lot less when it actually converts. So it's kind of the same thing on social media. The larger audience you have, the more likely that you're going to get to convert more, to get more people saying yes to you. However, it doesn't matter. Like if you only have an audience of 300 on your following or whatever, still post consistently, still do everything, you will still convert from that and you will grow naturally. Larger following just helps convert more. That's all.
And how do you track entries for a giveaway?
How do you track entries for a giveaway? Yeah, so there is something you can use online. So it's called name, what is it? You use it too. Yeah, it's like name generator or something. So basically on Google, if you literally just Google like name generator, contest generator, anything like that, there is a site you can use. So you can take your post, you'll basically the post that you posted on either Facebook or on Instagram, you can copy the URL, you put it in, it automatically pulls all the comments from the post. It can see who double commented. It can see like all that kind of stuff, and it will funnel it all for you and do the spin to see who wins. So you don't even need to keep track of it. As long as they're commenting on the post and doing everything that your instructions said, which is usually commenting on the post to tag somebody, following you, or liking the page, you can see. Now, what I always do is that when we do actually pick a winner, before we announce it, I always go back and check they have followed us and they did like the post, that they did follow the instructions that we asked. But yeah, you can use a name generator to actually keep track of the rest for you. Anything else, Mike? No? Okay, perfect. Okay, so how do you actually get business from social media? So this is the biggest thing. So much like anything else, one, consistency is key. This is the biggest thing, okay? 2, how do you actually convert those leads, right? Okay, so now I have someone who's reached out to me on social media, or I've had a conversation with them, or they've asked me a question on one of my videos. How do you actually convert it? So basically, posting is not enough, okay? Posting is only half the battle. You want to post to not let people forget about you and to create that presence and do everything. But posting is not enough. You need to actually be having conversations with people. You need to have one-on-one conversations with people. So what I do is I actually reach out to people and I DM them and I talk to them. Okay, so just posting is not going to get enough people consistently enough, just reaching out to me, being ready to buy or sell a house. I need to actually be in conversation with them, because if I'm not, somebody else is. They might see my post, but there's another realtor that they actually are conversing with. So what I do is I do something that I call virtual door knocking, and I go to my Facebook page and to my Instagram page, and I literally go down my friends list and I message people, and that's it. I message people the same script that I would use if I were going door knocking or cold calling or whatever it is, a little bit different. I'll add like a little bit more of a personal touch to it. But I DM like 10, 25 people a day on Facebook and on Instagram, and I actually start conversations with people. So that's what it's all about. It's about actually having those conversations. So I'll reach out to someone, I'll say, hey, Mike, like, hope all is well. How are you? All that kind of stuff. And I'll say, I'm just reaching out. I'm just, I'm actually, sometimes I'll straight up say, I'm just doing something that I call virtual door knocking, just wanting to connect with people on my Facebook page here and just see if you've thought about buying or selling in the next 3 to 6 months or so. Thought about if you had any plans to move in the next 3 to 6 months or so, or whatever it is. And I just, the same way I would if I were cold calling or if I were door knocking, I do the same thing, but just in a direct message. The amazing thing about connecting via social media and direct messaging is when I go door knocking, if somebody is at work, they're not going to answer the door and I didn't get to talk to them. Yes, I leave my card behind, but it's very rare that somebody gets your card in their door and calls you. With cold calling, a lot of the numbers are landlines. If they are at work, they're not going to answer your phone call. You're not going to get to speak with them. Missed opportunity if they are thinking about doing something. With social media or a text message even, but with social media, when I send them a message and they're a lot of the time, they might not be able to pick up the phone at work, but a lot of the time they can like answer a quick message. If they can't answer my message right then and there, they can answer my message later on in the evening when they're at home, they're sitting down for dinner, they're in bed, like whatever it is. They can answer my message when they're able to answer my message, rather than if they're not home or they're to answer the phone or the door, like that, it's just a misconnection unless I keep, calling at all different hours of the day and night. So that is something that social media is great for, and text message too. Again, I recommend if you are a cold caller or a door knocker, or if you make follow-up calls, if you have someone who constantly, like you're never getting in touch with, try texting them because they might respond that way. Because again, they just might be at work when you're calling, they can't answer the phone, whatever. The other thing about it is even if they don't want to answer at that point in time, it might be 2 weeks, it might be a month down the line that now them and their husband are talking about moving, and they can go, my message is still sitting there. Like my content, a way to easily contact me is still sitting there. So they can easily now reach back out to me, especially maybe a post of mine pops up and it reminds them. And now they can reach out and be like, hey, like, so sorry, we've been super busy, because this happens all the time. So sorry that I didn't message you back. Like, we've been super busy, but my husband and I were just chatting about it. Like, we think we're ready to like list. So even if a month goes by, my message is still sitting there, that it's easy for them to just go back and answer when they're ready. So that's one of the best things about social media is connecting and having those conversations. Okay. So yeah, you want to reach out and you want to actually talk to them. That is the way to convert business. Another thing that I do that really, really helps me get leads, is, and if any of you guys follow me on social media, which I think you all do, you've probably seen this, is I will post a poll. So on Instagram, I'm talking about Instagram specifically right now. On Instagram, there is an option to create a poll in your story. And I will often create a poll that says something like, are you thinking about selling your house this year? Or are you thinking about selling your house in the near future? Or something like that. And then the 2 answers will be like, yes, or it'll be next year or something like that. It'll basically be 2 yes answers, do just yes and no. I never will. I will always give basically 2 yes answers, but of 2 different timelines. And then people will respond to that poll. And it's literally a way of making people come to me and show them their plans. And it's so funny because so many people out there don't like want to tell realtors what their plans are. Like they don't want to let you know a lot of the time if they're not totally ready. They don't want to let you know they're even thinking about it because they think you're going to like hound them, right? Like they think you're going to just like pressure them into buying or selling, which obviously we know isn't the case. But with the polls, it's a way of making people actually come to me and like reveal their plans to me basically. So again, another example of this might be, I might be like, are you looking to get your foot in the door, like buy your first house this year? And I will write like, hell yeah, or the goal is next year, right? So again, 2 yes answers, but just different timelines. And what I will do is anybody who says, yes, I'm thinking about it, I reach out to them immediately. Hey, thank you so much for participating in my poll. That is so exciting that you're looking at like to buy your first house this year. Like, where are you looking to buy? And then I start talking with them that way. I just start the conversation. And then obviously, as I ask a little bit more, I'll say like, are you already committed to a realtor? A lot of the time it's no. Sometimes it's yes, no problem. If they said the next year is the goal, I take a screenshot of that, those results, and I keep track of those results. So then what I do is I go back and I keep track of those results. I go back and I just remember to, like, okay, in a few months, I'm going to reach out to this person. And I'm going to say the same thing I would follow up with, like a phone call. I'm going to be like, hey, like, how's it going? I remember a few months ago, I posted a poll about getting into the market. You mentioned that you were going to do next year. Like, just wanted to check in and see how things are going. Like, if you ever need a contact for a mortgage broker, if you have any questions, anything like that, like, I'm happy to answer, to just start that connection. It's working now. Is it working? No, battery's low. You can hear me? Well, it's saying battery's low, so hold on. Okay, is this working now? Good. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, they can hear me. Okay, cool. All right, let me know if it dies again. This is finicky. We're working with all dead batteries here. So I don't know what I was saying. Where was I? Anyone know? Oh, yeah. So then I keep track of what their results were. So again, if I post another similar story with the same poll a few months later, plans change all the time, right? Like, again, we know this in our regular follow-up. You have to follow up consistently, because someone who said they're 3 years out gets a job transfer tomorrow. Now, all of a sudden they're moving now. People who tell us, yeah, we're for sure moving in the spring. You call them in the spring, you think you got a guaranteed listing coming up in spring, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what, we talked about it, we're going to stay put for another year. So plans change all the time. So again, even with the polls on my story, I'll keep track of people's results to just see if things have changed at all. And so that's another way to really create connections with people, find out what people's plans are, connect with them, and then get the lead. Any questions that I haven't answered, Mike, in the chat?
Well, one question that came in was, do you send messages on DM or do you integrate video messages?
So personally, I just send messages on DM. I don't really send video messages. I know a lot of people do that now with like things like Bomb and all that kind of stuff. I think it can be great. I personally just send a DM. I think I feel like it's a way for me to do it where I can reach a ton of people, but it still does feel like a little bit more personal. Like, it's not like I'm just sending a generic video message out to a bunch of people. And again, if I send a video message, same thing. Someone at work might not be able to like play that or whatever. So I think for me, I always just go with a DM.
And how often would you post a poll trying to find out their plans, or how can you reword / change the phrasing?
Yeah, so I would post a poll honestly once a month. I would do it like once a month, and I would switch up what I'm saying. So I would ask, so one, I might post about buyers. I might say, are you looking to buy your first house this year? And then do the 2 answers. The next one I do the next month might be selling. And then the month after that, I might go back to buyers. And I might just say, like thinking about getting your foot in the real estate market in 2022. So literally just little different variations of the same questions. And that's it. But I will rotate back and forth between like buying and selling, basically. Anything else?
No, that's it.
No? Okay, perfect. But yeah, so that is how you're actually going to get business. Now, I forget if there was, okay, yeah. So how do I convert leads on social media? So everything that I just talked about with actually connecting with people, getting the leads, finding out their plans, all that kind of stuff. How do you actually convert it into business now? So once you get a lead, it is no different than the way you would convert any other lead. When you get a lead from social media, it is no different than the way you would convert a lead from door knocking, from cold calling, from, you know, whatever other form of lead gen that you do. It's follow-up. That's all it is. It's follow-up. So you can go about it in a couple different ways. When you put a lead into your database with social media, you can choose to follow up with them the same way you first connected with them. You can continue to follow up with them on social media, right? That's a way to do it. Or you can actually get their number, all that stuff. You can start calling them, you can start texting them, whatever it is. Personally, for me, if I've connected with someone on social media, I tend to follow up with them on social media. Sometimes I'll get their number and then I'll start texting them, but usually something I will tell you guys, and again, it's not going to be for everybody across the board, but especially when it comes to like the first time home buyers that I'm connecting with on Instagram, they are not going to be comfortable with me now just trying to start calling them. They're going to be like, stop, don't call me. And that's fine. Like the younger generation does not want to pick up the phone and talk to you on the phone. They are far more comfortable with text and DM. So again, this is why connecting with them on social media is so important. So I will usually continue to follow up with them on social media. I will put their name in my database. I will ask for their phone number, their email, and all that kind of stuff. I will put them in the database, and I will still set a reminder for myself to the same way I would to call them, to just message them on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is. So it's literally no different. And some leads, let's say maybe it's not a super hot lead, but it's someone you want to remember to follow up with. Maybe you do just put their name into your database and you set a reminder to follow up with them on social media. You don't need their phone number. You don't need their address. You don't need their email address. You can keep working on getting that and building that relationship, but put them in your database to remind you to follow up with them. Because if you have one great conversation with them, but then they never hear from you again, it's the same thing as anything else. Like they're going to forget about you. So once you get a lead on social media, it is no different than any other lead. You need to follow up with them. And we all know that. Yes. Sorry. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Vanessa's question was, where is the line between wanting to get the business and then also being annoying? So especially when it comes, I guess, to like DMing and stuff, like, yeah. So like without hounding them. So again, the great thing about social media is when you've connected with them on social media and you're following up with them, in between those connections, they're still seeing your posts all the time. They're still seeing everything. So they're actually getting a lot of touches from you on a daily basis without you having to actually like constantly be like, hey, what's up? Like, are you selling? So in that way, it's really good because it helps them not forget about you. Whereas if you have a lead from cold calling or door knocking, I know I keep picking on those two things, but you know, and it's only follow-up calls in between, they may have 3 other agents that are also calling them in between. And it's, those touches may not be often enough. Like they could forget about you, or they don't even know what realtor you are because I've got 3 of them calling me, right? So with social media, the thing is always bringing them a value. It's without being annoying, it is posting great content that is giving them value. So things like educational information, stuff that they want to know. And then just following up with them to let them know you're here. Like, hey, you know, just wanted to follow up on this. Again, you want to do it depending on what the timeline is. If they're saying it's going to be within a year, you're not going to be following up with them every week, right? Like it might be a few months in between that you're going to just check in and be like, hey, like just wanted to touch base with you. I just wanted to let you know, like, I know you're thinking about buying or whatever. Just wanted to let you know, if at any point in time, if you need a contact for a mortgage broker or anything like that, like I'm here to help. Like, please reach out to me with any questions. Like just letting them know you're there, right? But the thing with social media is they're going to be getting multiple touches from you every day when you post. So that's kind of it. You don't need to hound them every single day, right? Because again, they're just going to see you every day on social media. And the more things you post of value, the easier it is to get them to be like, yeah, obviously this is the girl I want to work with. right?
Another question, how long did it take you after, sorry, two questions. How long did it take you after starting to use social media for real estate to start generating business?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, how long after I started using social media did I see conversion, I guess? So for me, it was a solid 6 months. So 6 months of me posting consistently. I followed the social media schedule that I talked to you guys about. I followed that consistently for about 6 months. There might have been like a week or two that I didn't hit one of the days or whatever, but for the most part, I followed that consistently for about 6 months. And it was after that that I really started seeing conversion. I started seeing more and more people reaching out to me. It started with people reaching out and being like, thank you so much for posting this. Like when I'm ready to buy a house, I'm definitely coming to you. And I'd be like, great, like that's amazing. It doesn't really mean anything at the time. Like we'll see, but great. And then as time went on, it really would happen. They would come to me when they were ready to buy a house. I started getting a lot more referrals through social media. That's the other great thing about social media, especially for connecting with the young ones. I had many people reach out to me and be like, my grandma is selling their house. My mom is selling her house. So it wasn't even that I necessarily was connecting with the mom, but I was connecting with the daughter on social media. And when her mom was ready to sell, she put me in touch with her mom. So it's great for referrals too. But yes, the answer to that is it took me 6 months of consistency to really start seeing things convert.
Where is this recording going to go?
It'll go on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then to confirm about the posting schedule, do you mean like post every 3 days or stories and highlights?
Yeah. So the social media schedule is the post, the three times a week is an actual post, like an actual post on your feed. But I would post every single day. So the days that I wasn't posting on my feed, I would be on my stories. I'd be posting stories of like throughout my day, what I was up to that day, taking people behind the scenes when I was going to showings, doing staging for properties, like all that kind of stuff. So there would be something from me every single day on social media, but only 3 times a week would it be an actual post on my feed. And sometimes it could be more, sometimes it could be less. If you have a lot going on in a week and you actually have like a lot of content, you can post more, but you want to do a minimum of 3 times a week. Did that answer that question? I hope so. Okay. Yeah, so converting social media leads. To sum it up, once you get a lead on social media, it's no different than anything else. It's follow-up. We know that in real estate, it's follow-up, lead generation and lead follow-up are part 1A and 1B, right? You can't have one without the other. If you put on all this work to get leads and then you don't do the follow-up, all that work that you did to get that lead in the first place it didn't mean anything if you're not going to follow up with them. So part 1A and 1B, follow-up is extremely important. And that is pretty much it, guys. So any questions at all, any questions about anything that I've talked about, I am happy to answer. Mike, is there anything on the chat?
Nope.
No. Okay. We'll give a few minutes to type if anyone has anything. Anyone in the room have any questions about anything? No. I pretty much talk your guys' ear off on a daily basis about all this stuff, so I can imagine you don't. But my pleasure, Justine. But yeah, guys on Zoom, if you guys have any questions at all about anything, please pop them in the chat. I am happy to answer whatever. I think one just popped up, Mike.
Nope.
No.
Just saying thank you so much.
Oh, okay. I can just see the box pop up. I can't see what it says. Oh, this is what I wanted to look at. Oh, perfect. Right at 3 o'clock. Good. Because I want to respect everyone's time. I don't want to go over.
Do you use any special equipment for filming TikToks or Reels?
Do I use any special equipment? No, I don't really. I honestly just use my iPhone. I should use something better, but I don't. The only thing that I use is a ring light. So a good lighting is important. That is one thing I will say. If you guys are going to do video, make sure you can hear yourself really well and make sure your lighting's good. Don't do a video in a really dimly, like poor light area. Good lighting and sound is important. The odd time I will use a mic. I don't do it every time, but I will use it the odd time. Just like a little mic like this that attaches onto you and attaches to your phone. But for the most part, it's literally just my iPhone.
Do you use the same hashtags or new hashtags?
I switch it up. I tend to use the same ones across the board mostly, but I will adapt to each post. So I usually use like hashtag real estate, hashtag realtor, realtor life, real estate agent, that kind of stuff. If I am looking to get the attention of other realtors, if I'm doing something for clients or I want to get a traction on like a just listed or something like that, I will usually use like just listed, real estate, GTA real estate, Toronto real estate, Newmarket, Aurora. Like I'll hashtag the things that are relevant to like the area, buyers, sellers, like anything that's kind of relevant to it at all, I will hashtag. Like if it's in Keswick, I'll hashtag Lake Simcoe because we have Lake Simcoe. You know, just anything like that. For the most part, I have a pretty standard set use that I kind of use all the time, and I'll usually add in or change out one or two.
How do you prep for a reel or TikTok? Do you create a script? And so there's 3 questions.
Okay.
That's the first one. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, how do I prep for so in the beginning, I would like really think of something, and I would like sometimes I would even write it out. I would rehearse it in the beginning. If for example, if I was posting something about like a mortgage update or something to do with like getting pre-approved or whatever, I would literally call my mortgage broker first and just be like, hey, I'm about to do a TikTok on this. This is what I'm saying. Like, is this all correct? Like, I just want to make sure first. So I would confirm with a mortgage broker. If I was ever giving advice on something like that, I would make sure that that advice was correct first. But yeah, and I would literally write out like a little bit of a script, or at least the points that I want to hit on. And then I would do it. Now I'm at the point where I just wing it. I kind of have an idea in my head of what I want to say, but I pretty much just wing it. But in the beginning, yes, I did write out a little script.
Which platforms are the best?
Which platforms are the best? So in my opinion, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Cool. How long does it take you to make a video?
It depends on how depends on how elaborate the video is. It depends on if I also accidentally delete the whole video that I recreated like I did today. To be honest, if I'm doing a video that's just like me talking to the camera, again, I'm at the point now I do it so consistently I can do it in one take. Like it doesn't take me long at all. In the beginning, it would take me like half an hour to an hour usually to really get down like the way I wanted to say it. And because again, we want it to be perfect. That is one thing I can't stress enough. Perfection doesn't matter. Just getting something up is better than it being perfect. If you try to make your thing perfect, sound perfect, the exact way you want to say it, you will not get anything up. I promise you. Like I promise you, you won't get enough content out. So just post something. But yeah, it used to take me about an hour. Now it's like quick.
Do you use any apps to edit your TikToks and Reels, or do you film it within the app and then, or do you film your Reels in TikTok and convert it over to TikTok?
Yeah, both. I don't really use many editing apps. I usually film right in TikTok. I'll use like a filter on TikTok at the most, like literally just a color filter, not like an actual filter. I don't do much editing to them. In the past, when I did videos on Facebook where I wanted like talking points and stuff to come up, I would use an app called Video Leap. I would use that. That's an easy editing app. It's nothing crazy, but it would just like allow me to put like text on the screen and stuff like that. But that's about it. Other than that, I literally just edit right on TikTok.
And what about optimal times to post? What's the best time to post?
Yeah, so that answer will be different for everybody. You can Google what is the best time to post on TikTok, what is the best time to post on Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. There will be a generalized time that you can find on there. However, with Instagram and with TikTok, I know with TikTok, when you hit a certain amount of followers, you get access to analytics. I think once you hit 10,000 followers, you get access to analytics. So I personally can actually see those analytics on my TikTok, and I can see the time that most of my followers are on and what the best time to put. For me, it's actually 10 o'clock at night, which is wild because I'm asleep at 10 o'clock at night. So I don't post anything on at that time. I never post at that time. I always post during the day, but it's different for everybody. So until you get the analytics, it's kind of hard to say. I would just Google what the best time is because it's different for each platform too. Mike, anything else?
You're good.
No? Awesome. Okay, if there is no other questions, then thank you guys. Thank you everyone for coming. I don't want to take up any more time, so I will let you all go. This was recorded, so it will be posted on our YouTube channel, and it'll likely be sent out to all the people who registered. So if you want to watch it back, you'll be able to do so. Awesome. It's so hot, I know. I know.
I want to go to sleep.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'll see